Now, the government is going to crack down further on climate change activists from Insulate Britain who have been blocking Britain's motorways. The Home Secretary, Priti Patel, will use her party conference speech to warn that those who use guerrilla tactics to block highways could face unlimited fines as well as up to 6 months in jail. Insulate Britain say they were not scared of going to prison. Let's put that to the test.
Yeah, let's. Joining us now is Insulate Britain spokesperson. It's Craig Scudder. Good morning, Craig. Thanks very much for coming on this morning. 6 months in jail, does that not scare you?
I think it scares anybody, really, Kirsty. And we do appreciate the Home Secretary's difficult position with regards to law and order. And we share her passion for upholding it. But, you know, we have to be realistic about this. As Sir David King, the former Chief Scientific Advisor, has said recently, you know, the next 3 or 4 years is going to dictate the future of humanity. You know, what we understand to be normal society and law and order is going to collapse in the coming decades. So, you know, we also have a responsibility to future generations. And much as, yes, we are terrified of going to prison for any period of time, we're more terrified of societal collapse and the complete breakdown of law and order.
But what does getting yourself arrested, how does that help achieve your aims?
Well, obviously, it is getting this topic discussed. It's getting us on shows like yours. You know, I've had discussions over the last few days with friends of mine at the rugby club, neighbours down the street, friends in the pub, and they wouldn't normally be talking about climate change and about, you know, the plan we have. We're looking at one segment of climate change. One of the things we have to do to hit our zero carbon target, which legally we have to do. And, you know, our plan creates hundreds of thousands of new jobs all around the country, helps Boris to level up. It will take 7 million people
implement
out
these
of
plans if you've decided to get yourself arrested and then spend 6 months
hold
behind
on.
bars. You won't even be able to have
Rosie.
this conversation.
Sorry, Rosie, can I just finish before you field another question? You know, our plan is going to stop 8,500 people dying every winter, which is pretty disgraceful for the 6th richest country in the world. It's also going to save people 95% on their fuel bills. And in a time when we've got rising fuel prices, that's another no-brainer. Anyway, sorry, over to you again.
I think that the no-brainer for lots of people on motorways would be arrest these people so they can get on with their commutes, drop people off to school, go to work, and that the strategies you're employing actually are really turning people off, being prepared to listen to what you've got to say.
I mean, it would help if this was reported better by media outlets. You know, can you imagine if we were at 1939 now and people were having a hoo-ha about preparing for the Second World War? It wouldn't have happened. And this is a bigger threat to humanity than the Second World War was. And it just isn't getting reported accurately. You know, people should be aware of the issues. I heard a phone in the other day and people were so ill-informed. You know, we need you guys on side. We understand we're inconveniencing people and we're really sorry about that. But really, that's going to pale into insignificance when you put it up against what we've got coming down the road. With the fire alarm in this, Rosie.
Craig, what is being reported incorrectly? Because as far as we can see, you know, it's causing a lot of distress. Very, very dangerous. We've seen accidents. We've seen a lot of incidents. It's only a matter of time before someone's killed, Craig.
Yeah, well, God forbid that.
But it's very real. But it's very real.
Answer your question first, please. What's being reported poorly is the overall topic, if you want, of climate change. I was listening to a phone-in a couple of days ago with one of our other spokespeople, and the presenter was saying that, you know, we cannot transition to renewables because they're so expensive. They're the cheapest form of electricity, bar none, right? That is just fact. Wind and solar are the cheapest ways we can produce power. So to have mainstream news, media organisations spreading these falsehoods is just very unhelpful. You know, people should be, everybody, the man in the street should be aware of all these facts. And, you know, your job is to inform people of coming catastrophes and also to hold the government's feet to the fire. They're missing all their own targets. The Climate Change Committee, right, which was set up by the government to advise them, has said that they're going to miss their own targets by 80%. You know, recently, you may have reported this, they've announced that they've got a 1.3 billion plan to help insulate homes, right? Priti Patel's been on talking about it, Michael Gove has. That will insulate, that will pay to retrofit 0.2% of our housing stock. Now, I'm sorry, but in what universe is that an answer to anything? 0.2%. Would you be singing from the rooftops about that if that was your plan?
We've just had a message, look, from a lady called Sharon. These guys are seriously putting me off climate change. The government is going to do nothing about them as they're too frightened of the woke brigade. So that's me, no more on the side of the protesters. Sorry, guys, you're all going about this the wrong way. I'm out. What do you say to Sharon?
Sharon, please tell me the right way. We've been trying other ways to address things for 2, 3, 4 decades. We know direct action, disruptive actions work. We hate doing it. I was with 2 women yesterday who spent the day sobbing because they knew that by getting involved in these actions this week, they were putting their jobs at risk. And I was saying to them, well, don't do it then. This isn't for everyone. But they were adamant that they wanted to because they see that they have an obligation to the coming generations. If we don't get this right, this isn't going to affect the next 20 years of life on Earth. It's going to affect the next few centuries.
I mean, to give you an idea, we just had someone called Craig's messaging, why are you giving screen time to an uneducated, ill-informed lawbreaker? That is the type of response we're getting in. Another one from someone called Simon, who's just messaging, he's an idiot, lock him up.
Are you
Not my views.
Craig, are you going to continue? I mean, what are we set to have more protesting today and more upheaval? It's a Monday morning. It's sort of about this time that we usually hear that the activists are there on the motorway.
Yep.
So you're saying yes, we are. You're carrying on.
Yeah, disruption today, and I apologise for that, but we're carrying on until the government issue a meaningful statement that they're going to address this issue. As I say, we're creating jobs, we're stopping people dying, we're taking people out of fuel poverty. You know, it really is just a win-win-win, and it's the cheapest way of getting our emissions down. Now, I may be an idiot.
And it's not a very empathetic way, and it's not generating support. Another message, I mean, some of the things that are coming in I can't read out, but Stephen says, jail the organisation's leaders now for 6 months and those taking part for a year, no parole. I sympathise, but they aren't getting us on side by doing this. I won't even read about their points while they do it. So that might be your strategy, and thank you for laying it out to us. The people who get caught up on the motorway today won't be thanking you, I'm sure. Craig Scudder, spokesperson at Insulate Britain.
Craig, thank you.
Your views coming in as well. GB Views at gbnews.uk.
And it's a shame.